Thomas Edison and the incandescent light bulb. Thomas Alva Edison was born on February 11, 1847 in Ohio. Ever since he was a boy, he was very inquisitive. He wanted to know how things worked. He didn't have much formal education and received most of his education at home and spent most of his time experimenting. He opened his Menlo Park laboratory in 1876 in New Jersey. Thomas Edison perfected the incandescent light bulb on October 21, 1879. While he didn't invent the light bulb, he came up with the idea to use a carbonized cotton thread filament. The current designs used platinum filaments, which burned out quickly and weren't practical for home use. This new filament, however, allowed the light bulb to burn for 42 hours and even longer as he continued to improve the design. He poured mercury into a tube to force the air out of the light bulb so it wouldn't explode. Leading up to this invention, however, he faced a lot of setbacks. He tried to carbonize filaments of many different plants until he found that cotton worked best, even having plants that only grew elsewhere sent to him. While the men working for him supported him and believed in his ideas, other people thought he was crazy for trying to do what he did. But he persisted, and the rest is history. Edison's goal was to come up with a light bulb that had high resistance, used less electrical power than the current light bulbs, and was also safe and economical for use in a home. This required a filament that had high resistance, which makes sense when considering Ohm's law, since resistance is proportional to voltage. The carbonized cotton filament that he eventually came up with fulfilled these requirements. It worked well at about 110 volts and lasted up to 1,200 hours upon further improvements. It works much in the same way as today's light bulbs. A voltage was applied to the wires attached to the filament, passing an electric current through the filament, which would heat up the filament and result in the emission of light. Everything was contained in a vacuum-sealed glass bulb to prevent anything from exploding. Down the street from Edison's Menlo Park laboratory was the Sarah Jordan boarding house. The men who worked with him would live there to avoid a long commute. Edison was able to provide them with electricity, and it was the very first home to ever be lit up. Now, Menlo Park sits in the Henry Ford Greenfield Village on the same dirt that it did in New Jersey, and Sarah Jordan boarding house is down the street from it, the same distance away that they originally were. Edison acquired 1,093 patents in his career. His favorite invention was the phonograph, which was able to record and play back sound. On it, the first thing ever recorded was "Hello, hello, hello," and then the Mary Had a Little Lamb poem. Edison called the phonograph his baby. He also invented the light switch and screw-in light bulbs. Alexander Graham Bell was something of a nemesis to Edison since he beat him to the telephone. While he wanted people to answer the phone with "ahoy," Edison thought that was silly and suggested we just use "hello" instead. Edison and Henry Ford became good friends, and within the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan, there are many tributes to this friendship, such as a statue of Edison near Menlo Park, where it now sits. I would like to say a big thank you to Jerry from the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation for providing me with much of the information used in this presentation. He is a master presenter and an expert on Thomas Edison. Thank you, Jerry.